I'm going to Davos. I believe it'll be very successful, the trip. The country's never done better. We have $18 trillion plus coming in. We've never had anything like it, and no country has had anything like it. Prices are way down. Gasoline now is $1.99 in a lot of places. And frankly, nobody's seen anything like this. So it's really good, but this will be an interesting trip. I have no idea what's going to happen, but you are well represented. Thank you very much, everybody.
Gunfire was not the sound echoing through Europe this time. It was fury. As night fell across Switzerland, American flags burned in the streets, and riot police moved in. Just hours before U.S. President Donald Trump's arrival in Davos, protests erupted across multiple Swiss cities, turning what is usually a calm alpine setting into a flashpoint of global anger. In Davos itself, hundreds of demonstrators marched through the streets, chanting one clear message: Trump not welcome. Banners were raised, faces were masked, and American flags were set ablaze, a symbol of outrage aimed squarely at the U.S. president and the power he represents. Police in full riot gear responded with force. Water cannons blasted crowds. Chemical irritants filled the air. Rubber bullets were fired as officers tried to disperse protesters, who, authorities say, hurled fireworks, stones, and paint-filled bags at shop fronts and buildings. Windows were smashed along key streets. Property damage spread. Tensions spiraled. 2 police officers were struck by stones. Elsewhere, city centers were sealed off. In Bern, protests were broken up. In Zurich, thousands marched through the night. One sign reading bluntly, "Put the Trumpster in the dumpster." Even the mountains became a canvas of dissent. Activists projected a cartoon image of Trump onto a ski slope near Davos, branding him the spirit of plutocracy.
Well, we want to send a lot of messages, but one of them is, well, you can see the photo there on our creation. So we just want to say that it's so important that Greenland remains its sovereignty, and that the local people in Greenland know best how to take care of nature and the local animals.
Maybe we can have a voice here instead of the Greenland people, which cannot be here now. So that's also something we want to take over and give them a voice.
This unrest comes as President Trump prepares to step onto one of the world's most powerful stages, the World Economic Forum, where heads of state, CEOs, bankers, and policymakers gather to shape the future of global trade and security. But Trump's arrival is shadowed by controversy. He has doubled down on his push to acquire Greenland, calling it essential to U.S. and global security. He has refused to rule out military options, and his stance has strained relations with European leaders already on edge. In a social media post just hours before the protests escalated, Trump declared Greenland imperative, insisting there could be no going back and reminding the world of America's unmatched power.
The consequence of your determination to take control of Greenland is the ultimate breakup of the NATO alliance. Is that a price you're willing to pay?
You mean the breakup of it's very
the
interesting
NATO
question.
alliance.
So I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody. Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before, in every way. Getting them to go up to 5% of GDP was something that nobody thought was possible, and pay. At 2%, they weren't paying. At 5%, they are paying. And they're buying a lot of things from us, and they're giving them, I guess, to Ukraine. That's up to them, but they're giving them to whoever they're giving them to, but they're buying a lot. I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important. How about it?
You said you're confident something's going to get worked out in Greenland, but Greenlanders have made it clear they don't want to be part of the U.S.
Well,
what gives the U.S. the right to take away that
spoken.
self-determination?
When I speak to them, I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
NATO?
Mr. President, are you committed to keeping the U.S. in NATO?
I've had such a good relationship. I've made it so much better, so much stronger. It's so good now. NATO is so much stronger now. I don't agree with a lot of the things they've done, but that was done before I got there. I think NATO's been good. Sometimes it's overrated, sometimes it's not. But we have a strong NATO. When I came here, we had a weak NATO. We had a NATO at 2%, and they weren't paying. You had a nothing NATO. NATO's, whether you like it or not, it's only as good as we are. If NATO doesn't have us, NATO is not very strong.
The US president wants to see the US flag in territory of Greenland. That's a shock, frankly speaking. That's unacceptable. We defend Denmark, the Kingdom of Denmark, the integrity, territorial integrity. And who plays with Greenland plays with NATO. And again, my question is, where are the MAGA friends? When Roberta Metsola at the beginning of the plenary this week underlined the support for Greenland and the support for Denmark, I saw that from the Patriots, half of the Patriots group stood up and defended the territorial integrity of Denmark, and half of the team kept seated and was obviously on the side of Washington. So the Patriots have to decide whether they want to be real Europeans or they are a colony of Washington. That's at stake. That's at stake in this moment of time. So what we need is a European answer. We see the increased pressure now from the United States threatening us with tariffs. We as EPP are clear, enough is enough. The reliability of Washington is in this moment of time at stake. I was one of the few, the EPP group was one of the few who said, welcome to the Scotland agreement last summer. Everybody criticized this. I said, it's a good deal. But what is now at stake is, can we trust in the compromises we did in Scotland last summer? The reliability is at stake. So for us as EPP, and I think for all parliamentarians, it's clear, there will be no ratification, no 0% tariffs access to the European Union for US products until we have clarified the question of reliability. And when we speak about partners, we have to say yes to Mercosur. We are not a military power, but we are an economic power, a huge market. And when even Lula and Milei can agree on the idea that together we are stronger as Europeans and South Americans, then I think everybody must understand what is at stake. So if you say no to Mercosur, Putin will be happy, Xi will be happy, and also Donald Trump will be happy, with different arguments in mind. That's why yes to Mercosur means yes to have good friends, yes to strengthen the European Union. And the third point I want to make is, dear friends, seriously, everybody recognizes we are living in a new world. And the key question is now, are we ready? Are we fit for the purpose? Is the architecture of the European Union ready? And the state of play is, dear friends, the Council can be vetoed by Viktor Orban. We have the E3 now presenting themselves, but I said it several times, E3 is not Europe. We have national responsibility on defense. That means in this moment of time quite a weak Europe. And yesterday Lavrov said in his press conference, US can have Greenland and I take Ukraine and then things are solved. That's a reality. And dear friends, are we ready? And I have to say, no, we are not ready. Imagine for a second we would have really one voice where unanimity is gone. Imagine for a second we would be in a situation that we are coming back to the founding fathers of the European Union, building up a true defense union in the European Union. Dear friends, we have to stop to discuss the actual tweet and we have to begin to discuss making Europe strong again. That is what is at stake. And populism can only be answered if you solve the problem of the citizens on economy, on migration, but also the real point is to show leadership. So that's why we have a huge responsibility. Let's reassure freedom and democracy. Let's find new partners in the world and let's make Europe ready for the future. Thank you.
Trade wars, security fears, the war in Ukraine, and now unrest on European streets. As Davos prepares to welcome one of the most polarizing leaders of the era, the message from protesters is unmistakable. This is not just a summit. It is a collision between power and protest, between global elites and public rage, and between a president who thrives on confrontation and a world pushing back.